to concentrate on a couple of stocks. We just spoke about Nila Infra. That stock is in focus as the company has secured a construction contract worth around 130 odd crores. Deep Vadodaria, the COO of the company, now joins in on the phone line to just discuss this particular contract that they won. Deep, hi, thank you very much for taking the time out. 130 odd crores. Tell us about when execution starts and when is this going to start showing on your P&L? When will you start earning revenues from this?
Yes, hi, good afternoon. First of all, thanks for having me online today. And yes, we've just secured this order. It is 131 crores odd. And this is a slum rehabilitation project. So as you know, that it takes a little bit of time for these projects to start because you have to also negotiate with the slum dwellers and move them out for a construction timeline gap. And we believe that in the next 2 quarters, the execution will start on the site and it will start reflecting in the second half of the next financial year.
All right, Deep, thanks so much for joining today. Always a pleasure talking to you. So you're saying there are still some land acquisition issues that are outstanding?
No, it's not land acquisition issue. These are actually government notified slums. So they are much easier, but you know, the magnitude of the slums is there are 1,540 families living in this. And in total, this Ramapir no Tekro is what the area is known as. And there were 6 packages of this, out of which we have received construction contracts for 1 package. All of the package put together are about 9,000 slums. So so the process is a little longer. There's no acquisition issues on the land. Government is helping us as much as they can. Okay. And but to move out 1,540 families, there's going to be a leeway time of about 2 quarters, I think, before the work starts on the ground. What's the revenue arrangement that you have for this? There's no revenue arrangement actually much which is required. It's a pure EPC contract. Okay. This is not a PPP order that we are executing right now on 2 of other slum development projects. Okay. But based on our expertise on the slum redevelopment projects that we are doing of our own, these developers have given us EPC contract for this slum. So all the responsibilities right from negotiating with the slum dwellers, keeping an NGO in the middle and the whole construction process will be driven by us. And this is a pure EPC contract.
All right, Deep, just wanted to understand, will you have to raise any money for this? You're sitting on about a debt, a very meager debt of around 100 crores, I believe. So do you have any working capital requirements to execute this particular order? And also, what does this take your total order book to?
Yes. Very quickly, first, no, we will not require any future debt, at least in the medium term, going forward to execute all these orders. The unexecuted order book as on 31st December was at 300 crores. There are 2 orders which we've come out with. One was a couple of orders for GSRTC, which is a PPP order. And this one is 131, which is EPC, and a couple of more orders in pipeline. But it's safe to execute that, it's safe to assume that, you know, we will have the book-to-bill ratio at around 1.5 to 2.
You have an MOU with the government of Rajasthan?
Yes, we have MOU with government of Rajasthan, which we signed in 2015 in Resurgent Rajasthan, which is a 400 crore MOU. And we are moving close to that mark. And that includes developing affordable housing and other civic urban infrastructure projects with government of Rajasthan. And we're on track to reach 400 crores there as well.
By when?
I believe we'll reach 400 crores by second quarter of the new financial year, which is going on 18, the financial year 18.
All right, Deep, I wanted to ask you, there's so much of talk about affordable housing. According to you, as per your analysis, how big is that pie? And out of that pie, what kind of a percentage can you look at, pulling to your company?
Yeah. So when we talk about the pie, first we'll talk about the unexecuted order book that I'm talking about, which is at 300 crores, out of which the company is sitting on 55% of that order book, which is affordable housing, which we see it expanding to about 65% of our order book in affordable housing in the next couple of months. Right. And we were the early players which saw a lot of potential in affordable housing with 2-3 reasons. One is the demand, which was always ignored by
Right.
various governments in the past. And two is the revenue model for this, as in the funding pattern of these projects, which is very self-reliant in certain ways, and the specific civic body is not ending up paying anything from their pocket.
Deep, we wanted a few details in terms of what's your geographic breakup. You know, if we're talking about Rajasthan, I think we're talking about Gujarat as well. Are you looking at expanding? Are you looking at other parts of the country, or do you want to stick to these geographies itself?
Well, geographically, we are spread into states, that's pretty right. And we are looking at other states to expand. And when the opportunity comes about, we will get into other states as well. But as of now, we're focusing on these two states, and there are ample opportunities which are coming about in these states as well.
Okay. All right, Deep, we're going to let you go on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and taking the time out. That stock up around 6.5% odd.